Who would have thought that a YouTuber would shake up the world of stock car racing? Cletus McFarland made his ARCA Menards Series debut at Daytona. The impact was so big that many fans started asking, could he actually make it to NASCAR? So in today's episode, we'll dive into McFarland's journey from internet stardom to stock car racing. And most importantly, we'll explore what his racing future could look like. Cletus McFarland made his ARCA Menards Series debut at Daytona International Speedway. His entry into the race created a massive surge in viewership, with Fox Sports' post-race spot reaching 5.8 million views. This unexpected spike, known as the Cletus McFarland effect, showed how much influence he carries in the motorsports world. McFarland is just 29 years old and built his reputation by modifying cars, organizing high-speed events, and creating entertaining racing content. Although he has driven fast cars before, his experience in stock car racing was limited. Still, he managed to qualify for the race and brought significant attention to the event. His journey to Daytona was not without controversy. Before the race, NASCAR placed him on probation for the rest of the 2025 season due to rule violations during a test session. The first issue involved an in-car camera that did not meet NASCAR's regulations. He used a helmet-mounted camera, which was against the rules because NASCAR does not allow independent teams to collect data using unauthorized equipment. McFarland admitted he did not fully understand the reasoning behind the rule, but took responsibility for the mistake. An ARCA official made a decision about his gear, but McFarland ignored it. This led to further penalties, and he accepted full blame, promising to follow the rules more closely moving forward. Despite these setbacks, he remained focused on the race. His performance in testing was solid, placing within the top 15 during the practice laps. Given his experience level, simply completing the race would have been an accomplishment. However, ARCA races at Daytona are known for frequent wrecks, and this one was no exception. On lap 12, chaos struck. Amber Balkan, driving the number 70 car, got loose coming out of turn 4, setting off a chain reaction. McFarland, running in the middle of the pack, had nowhere to go. His number 30 Ford got caught in the mess, making slight contact with the inside wall. Though his car had damage, he was able to keep on going. Unfortunately, his race did not last much longer. Just a few laps later, Balkan's car spun again, this time directly in front of McFarland. With no time to react, he slammed into the side of her vehicle. The damage was too severe to continue, forcing him out of the race. His debut ended with a 30th place finish. After the race, he described his experience as the best day of his life, until he had to settle for a DNF.
You wanted it to come to a close. What was your experience like as a whole?
Well, I was having the best day of my life. Ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle. I was flat out, avoided a wreck, which was awesome. I thought I was the best driver to ever exist in that moment. And it's probably because my sleeves were cut off that I was able to pull off that maneuver, come down pit road. Then someone slammed into my rear left quarter, spun me out, lived through that, got some fresh tires, went back out there. I'm hot dogging into 1 and 2, and the car lost it in front of me, and I saw it, didn't have enough brakes to get slowed down before it, and tried to go around it, misread it, zigged instead of zagged when I should have zagged, and I zigged, and bam, blew the front end right off my hot rod.
Despite not finishing the race, McFarland's debut was a success in terms of exposure. His presence brought new fans to the ARCA Menards Series, and his interview quickly became one of the most watched NASCAR clips online. His interview quickly went viral. Fans flooded social media with clips of his reaction, praising him for bringing excitement back to stock car racing. Many called for NASCAR to give him a Cup Series ride at Talladega, a track known for high speeds and even higher chaos. Whether that ever happens is unclear, but what is certain is that McFarland proved he could bring attention to a race like few others could. This was not just about entertainment. McFarland's presence showed NASCAR something important. Fans want personalities. The sport has spent years trying to grow its audience, but often the biggest complaint is that drivers have become too polished, too robotic in interviews, too afraid to be themselves. McFarland, on the other hand, is unapologetically himself. His humor, his energy, and his passion for racing make people want to watch, which is exactly what NASCAR needs more of. McFarland's entry into stock car racing demonstrated how a single personality can influence viewership numbers. His loyal fan base followed his journey from the moment he announced his participation. By race day, thousands of people who had never watched ARCA before were tuning in. Caitlin Vincey, a reporter for Fox Sports, acknowledged this impact. "The Cletus McFarland effect cannot be denied," she wrote on social media. NASCAR has struggled in recent years to attract younger audiences. McFarland's debut showed how social media influencers could help bridge that gap. If a single YouTuber could bring millions of new eyes to the sport, it raised questions about how NASCAR could collaborate with similar personalities in the future. McFarland is not done racing. Rhett Jones Racing confirmed that he will return to the track at Talladega Superspeedway, a 2.66-mile oval known for its high-speed pack racing. The team has also hinted that additional races could be added to his schedule, depending on sponsorship and performance. Racing at Talladega will be another major challenge for McFarland. The track is even more unpredictable than Daytona, with frequent crashes and wild finishes. Surviving a race at Talladega requires skill, patience, and a bit of luck. McFarland has proven that he can compete, but his ability to finish strong remains untested. McFarland's impact on NASCAR is not just limited to the track. He was recently announced as a guest on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s popular podcast, The Dale Jr. Download. Earnhardt Jr., a two-time Daytona 500 winner, has one of the biggest voices in NASCAR media. His company, Dirty Mo Media, teased McFarland's appearance with an exciting message. If you know Cletus McFarland, get excited. If you don't, buckle up. The podcast episode will likely cover McFarland's thoughts on his ARCA debut, his experience at Daytona, and his future in racing. It may also explore how digital content creators like McFarland could shape the future of motorsports. McFarland's rapid rise in stock car racing could mark a shift in how new drivers enter the sport. Traditionally, NASCAR drivers come from karting, late models, or dirt racing, but McFarland's path is different. He built a fan base online first, then used his influence to create racing opportunities. While McFarland is still a part-time driver, his presence alone has already changed the way people view ARCA NASCAR. McFarland has already conquered the online world, and now he's stepping into the high-pressure environment of real-world racing. Talladega will be his next big test. If he can finish that race, it'll be a major step forward. If he struggles again, questions will arise about whether he should continue. Either way, people will be watching. The Cletus McFarland effect is real, and NASCAR may never be the same again. His ability to draw attention was clear from the numbers. His in-car live streams' 40,000 viewers were significant, especially for an ARCA event. His social media engagement after the race showed just how much people were talking about him. And even though he crashed early, he was the story of the race. That kind of impact is rare, and it highlights why he's such a unique figure in motorsports. And that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to give this video a like, smash that subscribe button, and also ring that notification bell for more upcoming updates.